UFC Fight Night Dolidze versus Hernandez. Yeah, this video is probably gonna get like 3 views or some shit because no one cares about this. Regardless, you know the drill. We're doing picks. Let's get it going. First off, Cody Brundage versus Eric McConaughey. Eric McConaughey is terrible. He's kind of like, if anyone watched last week's card, he's kind of like John Yanis. He just doesn't deserve to be in the UFC at all, and I don't know how he got here in the first place. Even on the regional scene, he was fighting guys that were 10-9, 5-3, 5-7 on one of these, and he's losing to them. How the did you even get here in the first place? I have no fucking idea. He's winning by like decisions to guys that are like 15-10 on the regional scene, and they just bring him up and give him Nursultan Ruzaboyev, and he gets mauled for a round and a half and then gets brutally finished. I think Cody Brundage wins this very handedly. Cody Brundage actually looked like he wanted to inflict pain on another human being for once in his last fight against Mansour Abdul Malik. The fight before that against Julian Marquez, he looked great, but against Mansour, he actually looked pretty good, and that fight actually did get overturned. I think that the ref like went to the next, like he went to the scorecards after there was like a stoppage. It was weird. Cody Brundage looked good, and he was giving Mansour some problems, and I hate Cody Brundage too, so even the fact that I'm saying this should say something. I'll take Cody Brundage. I put Cody Brundage by decision. Next up, Gabriela Fernandez versus Julia Stoliarenko. Julia Stoliarenko is another person who is just terrible. There's a lot of heavy favorites on this card, by the way, and I'm gonna be taking pretty much all of them, I think. Yeah, I'm taking Gabriela Fernandez. Julia Stoliarenko is terrible at fighting. She has 8 fights in the UFC, and she's 2-6. I don't know how the fuck she's still signed to a contract. Her best win is Molly McCann, and Molly McCann is horrendous, as we all know. And Gabriela Fernandez actually has some good names on her resume. She beat Wang Kong in her last fight, which seemed a little bit fluky. I still think it was a little bit fluky, but regardless, before that, she beat Carly Judas. She's been in there with Jasmine Jastovicius. Do we even have to say anything? What did I put? I put Gabriela Fernandez by decision or submission or anything. It doesn't matter. She's gonna win. Julia Stoliarenko should not be signed to the company. Moving on. Next up, Uros Medic versus Gilbert Arena. Gilbert Arena is another guy who's terrible. There's just a lot of shitty fighters on this card that are matched up with people that they shouldn't be matched up against. You're losing to Brian Battle and Charles Radke. The only win that you have is Orion something. I don't even know who the that is. And Uros Medic, actually, he is pretty technical. He does get himself into trouble sometimes. He'll just start winging punches and not think about what's coming back at him, and he'll get put out sometimes. He has beaten a lot of good fighters. He's beaten veterans too. I remember a fight that he had against what's that old dude? Not Court McGee, but the guy that is probably like, he's like that style, like the old Tim Means is who it is. He had a good fight with Tim Means. He knocked him out, and then in I think it was the first or second round. He's been in there with Omar Morales. He's been in there with Matthew Smelsberger. He's been in there with some good guys. He lost to Jalen Turner. He was in there with Jalen Turner as well. Competition-wise, it's not even close, I don't think. When you look at these two guys' resumes, I don't think Gilbert Arena has the one-punch knockout power that I think you need to put Uros Medic away. So I'm taking Uros Medic. I'll take him by late TKO. Moving on from that. Jocelyn Edwards versus Priscilla Cachoeira. I think Jocelyn Edwards is very, very good. Borderline a top 5 contender at women's bantamweight because this division is so horrid. It is the worst division I've ever seen, male or female, in the UFC of all time. So that, to be fair, that is not saying much that Jocelyn Edwards is a top contender at this division because the division's so terrible, but I think she handles Priscilla Cachoeira handedly. I think she looks like Leon Edwards, and she fights like Leon Edwards, and her name is Edwards. So she's probably going to win a 30-27 decision, calf kicking at range, using her teeps, using her length. She has a weirdly long reach for this division as well. At 135, having a 70-inch reach is very, very huge, especially in women's MMA, where people don't know when they're in range or not. They just wing punches and don't think about it. Jocelyn Edwards doesn't do that. You can tell when she fights that she's hit pads before, and she knows how to put some technique into her So I have Jocelyn Edwards. I have her by 30-27 dominant decision. I don't think it'll be close. Moving on from that, Elijah Smith versus Toshiomi Kazama. I think Elijah Smith is the truth, dude. I think he's really, really good. I know a lot of people will probably disagree with that just based off of his debut. There was a few really, really scary moments. What's it called? The guy he was who did he fight in his debut? He got Vince Morales. That's right. Vince Morales pulled like 3 or 4 Darces in that fight, and a few of them almost landed. Like nasty, cinched in and everything. But Elijah Smith scrambles really, really well, and he rolled out of every single one. And he won dominantly, I thought. I think he's really, really talented on the ground and in the stand-up. But Toshiomi Kazama, he gets brutally finished, it seems, twice a year, it feels like. That's obviously not true, but realistically, he probably gets finished brutally once every 2 years, and he's due. I'm taking Elijah Smith. I think he's very, very technical. I think his scrambles are going to be too good. I'm taking Elijah Smith. I think he's obviously really young, but I think at some point he will be ranked. I think he's that good. So, moving on from this. Julius Walker versus Rafael Corquera. Rafael Corquera he literally gets paid to get knocked out. It's fucking crazy. He literally just shows he's fought 3 times. He got signed last year, and all 3 times he's going to get slept. Julius Walker's going to sleep Rafael Corquera in the first 2 minutes. Julius Walker had a really good fight with Alonzo Menafield. I thought he won against Alonzo Menafield. Rafael Corquera he's literally a human punching bag. And he's been finished inside of 2 minutes in both of the fights. And one of them was to Ibo Aslan. Ibo Aslan is not good. We've figured out. He's not very good. How are you getting finished that early? Julius Walker comes out hot too, and he stays hot. I mean, this is a no-brainer. Again, the odds on all of these are so inflated. Moving on from that, Eric Anders versus Christian Leroy Duncan. I'm taking Christian Duncan. I mean, again, the guy's minus 600 probably at this point. Eric Anders looked like, didn't he win his last fight? He beat Chris Weidman. I mean, who cares? Chris Weidman is terrible. Eric Anders is 40 now. Who put these guys together? Christian Leroy Duncan, to be fair, he didn't look crazy good in his last fight, but Andre Pulyaev is no joke. To be fair, Jesus Christ, I'm just noticing Christian Duncan's head is very bald. It looks like more bald than I've ever seen anybody ever. It's like a big milk dud. It's crazy. Anyways, sorry. Yeah, what the am I talking about? Andre Pulyaev, his last fight that he had against Christian Duncan. Christian Duncan looked good. He turned it on late in the 3rd round too. And I think that if you swarm Eric Anders early with some shit like that, you're gonna connect with something because he's very hittable. I got Christian Duncan. I got him by 1st or 2nd round TKO. Moving on. Miles Johns versus Gene Matsumoto. Again, what are we doing? Gene Matsumoto is going to maul Miles Johns however he wants. Gene Matsumoto is really, 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 really talented. Last fight against Rob Font, I had him winning 29-28. I thought he won the first 2 rounds. I went back and watched the fight again. He clearly won. I don't know what the judges were smoking ringside, but they need to not do that shit again because Gene Matsumoto won that, and he should be ranked somewhere near the top 10. And Miles Johns sucks. He got the shit kicked out of him against Felipe Lima, and before that, he has no good win. His best win is like Cody Gibson. Cody Gibson or Rob Font? Which one would you say is a better win, you know? Gene Matsumoto has been in there with better competition. He's younger, he's faster, he's more technical. You're winning striking exchanges and grappling exchanges against Rob Font. That's all I need to see. I'm taking Gene Matsumoto. After that, Andre Fili versus Christian Rodriguez. The first fight that might be close. Christian Rodriguez is supposed to win this. That probably means he's going to lose because he's retarded. But Andre Fili is not good, dude. Andre Fili is not good. I can't stand Christian Rodriguez, dude. He's supposed to win this. He should win this. If he doesn't win this, I'm going to be pissed. I'm taking Christian Rodriguez. By the way, I did take Melchizedek Costa to beat Christian Rodriguez, and I'm very proud of that underdog pick because he was like plus 400. That's probably the biggest underdog pick I've ever gotten. Yeah, I'm taking Christian Rodriguez. Andre Fili isn't coming off of the best streak ever either. I mean, he keeps splitting fights. Jesus Christ. He went to a split decision with Cub Swanson, and before that, you're beating Lucas Almeida. Christian Rodriguez should win this, and if he doesn't, I'm never picking him to win a fight ever again. I genuinely hate this guys. Moving on from that, I'm not even going to break this down. Yasmin Lucindo versus Angela Hill. Another close fight. Back-to-back close fights. These are probably the only 2 close fights on the whole card. Taking Yasmin Lucindo, I think the way that you beat her is by dominating the grappling exchanges, being very, very grapple heavy, and don't let her get her whole game going, because she is well-rounded at the end of the day, but I think if you do pressure her and just keep shooting takedowns at her like Amanda Lemos did, I don't think she's going to do very well. Or not even just takedowns, but just pressure. I think she kind of folds, and she's very, very, she's 23 and she's ranked in the top 10. You know, I think that there is going to be some sort of factor where vets are just going to be able to out-vet her in a sense, where they're just going to find ways to win that she doesn't really know how to do yet. But Angela Hill isn't a grappler, dude. She's a good defensive grappler, but she's not the best offensive grappler. So that's why I think that she's not going to be able to beat Yasmin Lucindo. I think Yasmin Lucindo is going to have the speed advantage by far. Angela Hill's 40 years old. I think Yasmin Lucindo, I'm going to take the youth and Yasmin Lucindo. I don't see her getting overwhelmed by anything that Angela Hill has or does, especially when it comes to the feet. I'll take her by split decision because it's women's MMA. What the fuck do you expect? Co-main event, Steve Erceg versus Ode Osborne. I'm taking Steve Erceg. Ode Osborne is... I said this in one of my other prediction videos. Ode Osborne is going to end his UFC career going 500. He's 5-6 right now. He's coming off a win, though, in his last fight against Luis Garul. I think he had a nasty pull counter finish in that fight. It was either a pull counter or he like clipped him with a check hook. I don't remember, but he got him bad, and he's coming off some momentum. If I see Steve Erceg lose this fight, someone needs to call and check on me, because I can't do with another Steve Erceg loss, dude. I mean, he's dropped 3 in a row, but they're to 3 of the best people in the entire division, probably. Pantoja, Moreno, and Kai. He looked decent against Brandon Moreno, so he still has pop in his shots. He's still very, very technical. I think his chin is still there. Kai probably hits the hardest in the whole division, so it's nothing to scoff at, seeing that he got knocked out by Kai. I don't think Ode Osborne's very good. He's going to end his career at 500 in the UFC, and he stepped up on short notice. He was never training. He didn't have a training camp or anything. Nothing booked. So he's just stepping up on short notice against the killer in Steve Erceg. I think Steve Erceg is going to land like a nasty check hook. Steve Erceg uses his reach very, very well. And when people blitz in, he's always waiting for that sniper shot, or he's waiting to throw in combination to catch you as you come in. So we're taking Steve Erceg. I got him by second round TKO. Moving on from that, we've got the main event, Roman Dolidze versus Anthony Hernandez. I'm taking Anthony Hernandez. Anthony Hernandez he's shown a susceptibility to being caught by lead hands. So whether it be a right hand from a southpaw or a left hand from an orthodox fighter, he always seems to get caught by jabs, lead hooks. I think his reaction time's just not very good, which is kind of typical in this kind of build, heavy around the hips, Hispanic, great chin. That's kind of their style. They can take one to give a better one, in a sense, and they can't get knocked out. And they always get clipped by jabs or lead hooks. That is the one worrying thing. I don't think he gets put out by Dolidze, though. Dolidze hasn't been putting people out. I mean, when was the last real finish that he had? Jack Hermanson 3 years ago. He's not sleeping people like he was when he first got here, like against Kyle Dawkins. It's not this, or Phil Hawes. Phil Hawes has one of the worst. I could probably knock out Phil Hawes at the end of the day. He's not sleeping people, so I don't see him catching Anthony Hernandez with a nasty check hook on the way in and sleeping him out cold. And Anthony Hernandez, his grappling is so fucking good. And I think he's going to give a lot of people problems with the fact that he is so grapple dominant. His timing's always really, really fucking good. And when it comes to holding top control and scrambling to get top control or top just position or find his way up from a scramble or something of that nature, he's always there. Even against Brendan Allen. To be fair, Brendan Allen does have you could probably count on one hand the amount of brain cells that Brendan Allen has, and Anthony Hernandez was just doing whatever the he wanted on the ground with him. And I thought Brendan Allen was a monster, and he was going to be able to walk through people by just going to work on the ground. But Anthony Hernandez had different plans. We're taking Hernandez. I have him by, I think I put 4th round submission, top control in the top pressure, because he's going to get Dolidze down. If he's shown us anything, it's that he can get people down and he can control them. And Dolidze, even against Vettori, he looked like shit. Like, as the fight went, he was slowing down. He did not look good. If you do that against Anthony Hernandez, I think he's going to be able to TKO you with just ground and pound, or he's going to make you roll and cover up, and he's going to rip your neck from behind. I've got Anthony Hernandez. I've got him pretty dominantly winning this fight. The only worry is him getting clipped on the way in by a lead hand, or just getting pinged by a jab. Maybe his nose breaks early or something. That's really the only worry that I see. But other than that, I think he wins handedly. Awful card, awful matchmaking, which is unfortunate because there are some fun fighters on here, but they're fighting cans. So we don't even get to learn anything. Appreciate you. More stuff coming out all the time. There's not a lot going on, but we did get some news today, and I will be actually... You will have already seen that video. So that video will pop up right here because I'm about to record it. But if you haven't seen that one, check it out. But I will see you in the next one. Peace.